Back here in Oklahoma, state leaders are stepping up efforts to fight Oklahoma's meth epidemic with the new law. But some say it doesn't do nearly enough. We did find in segment 2, all seem to agree it is a start.
Once you go to prison, I mean, life looks different to you.
Corey Tiercy is a self-described meth addict. She now sits in prison. We caught up with her last fall behind bars at the Eddie Warrior Correctional Facility. She says meth took control of her life and eventually ripped her family apart.
I'd lock myself in my bedroom so I could get high and they wouldn't see it. And my son would always ask me, Mom, are you going to the bedroom and locking yourself in there again? He knew. They all knew.
While Corey's now coming to terms with the reality of prison, meth has become a major problem in Oklahoma. Last year was a record year for meth lab busts, costing the state millions and putting innocent lives in danger. Tulsa County DA Tim Harris is passionate about the issue. He led the charge to require a prescription to buy pseudoephedrine tablets.
We're having such an epidemic that every DA in the state of Oklahoma joined together unanimously in recommending to the legislature that it needs to be controlled by prescription.
Despite Harris's plea, the legislation did not pass, but he's not giving up.
It's very difficult, Russ, to get the public to understand that they really are paying with their tax dollars for all the law enforcement it's taking to fight this, all the cleanup that it's taking, all the kids that are going into DHS custody, and so we'll keep fighting.
Instead, lawmakers did pass a measure to limit the amount of pseudoephedrine people can buy and to increase tracking of sales. Supporters call it one of the toughest anti-methamphetamine laws in the country without penalizing everyone.
And that's all we're trying to do, is give them more information to enforce the laws without hindering law-abiding citizens who use Sudafed for legitimate purposes.
Under the law, Oklahomans are limited to 3.6 grams of the drug a day, 7.2 grams in a month, and a yearly limit of 60 grams.
We're optimistic about making an impact with some of our labs, and we're real encouraged by the bill.
Daryl Weaver's the director of the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics. He says his organization is excited to have a new tool in the war on meth and believes joining the Implex national tracking system will also make a difference.
It's a national tracking system which will not only include Oklahoma purchases but also the neighboring states. So we're real excited about that.
Some in law enforcement, like Rogers County Sheriff Scott Walton, hope it'll help, but are taking a wait-and-see approach.
Certainly a step in the right direction, and we may have shut that door partially, but I think we're still a long ways from closing that door completely.
Back behind bars, Corey Tiercy knows what meth can do and where it can lead. She says any effort to stop meth can make a difference. Had Corey been able to stay away from the drug, she might still have her family.
That's all I can do is just pray about it, and then at night I'll sit there and I'll look at the pictures of my kids and I'll cry. And I can lay there and I can picture that I'm going to actually get to touch them or hug them. Maybe one day, you know.
District Attorney Tim Harris says he's closely watching the impact of the new law. He says if it doesn't do enough to stop the meth problem, he'll be back next year pushing for more reform.